Now, can you tell me about the most intense moment that you've experienced at the press conference? Because you've done a lot of them, obviously, over the years. But what was like the most intense moment where it was like, wow, even for you, it was maybe too much?
Um, we've had a whole bunch, especially if you go back. It's funny because it wasn't that long ago, but if you go back to about 10 years ago, man, we had three or four in a row when me and Dan Solomon were doing it. It's kind of an offshoot of our Pro Bodybuilding Weekly days. Um, and man, we had some battles back then with Quincy and Silvio Samuel and calling him an ankle biter and Melvin Anthony, Gunther, Ronnie. I mean, listen. Those guys would take stuff off right there and start posing down. They weren't shy. You know what I mean? But Gustavo Bedell. Geez, we had some great ones, but I would say probably one of the most intense exchanges was between Phil and Kai.
I'm going to bring one home for him, and that's what I intend to do. I'd be foolish to come up here, like I said before.
That's what the first three should have been. That's what the first three should have been. I respect your father. I respect anyone that has had a father. I didn't have one.
You know what? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
13 is the past.
You know what? You've talked about the past your whole entire career, making excuses.
Because I mean, and everything's it's scripted. Like look at this. Isn't WWE? Okay, we don't have that type of activity. Even though me and Triple H actually did host it some years ago and had a little bit of fun with it. What you see is very real, and none of it's scripted. Zero. I can tell you that firsthand, as obviously I'm the one running it. But those two got into it, and they was going back and forth. Where I thought some tables were going to start, getting pushed out, and Kai and Phil might go at it. And as you saw, that manifested on stage as well, where they kind of came nose to nose, and Phil kind of had enough of Kai's antics and back and forth. Listen, Phil's no angel either. Okay, he can talk as good a smack as anybody. He played Division I basketball. He comes from that's what they do. So, he put out his fair share. Kai was having a little fun, and Phil kind of got fed up with it. And then he did the famous flip of the predator tail there, and oh yeah. So that was probably one of the more intense times I ever remember. Yeah.
The crazy thing about that press conference, I feel like nobody, because Kai was always very, very quiet in the press conference. He didn't talk much. He would always kind of like be polite, smile, put the microphone down. You know what I mean? But at that one, he really was very vocal. I don't know what happened, right? But he was very vocal in that one.
Well, I can tell you what happened. I talked to Kai in the back, okay, before we went out, and I generally do this at every press conference, but this one I really wanted to be emphatic to these guys, especially Kai, because it's like, look, nobody wants to go out there and hear how you just want to bring your best package and, let's see what happens, all that low key. Nobody cares. That ain't selling tickets, okay? I says, Kai, I really need you to bring it out there today, okay? Listen, it's a show. No matter how you dice it, okay? Take a page from WWE, UFC, okay? You pick it. It's a show, okay? Nobody takes nothing personally. But I need you. He says, well, what do you want me to do? And I go, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you to be yourself, okay? Don't hold back. Just let it fly, okay? That's exactly the conversation that we had backstage prior to going out. So he obviously took heed to that, and he let it fly. He didn't hold back. And you know Kai as well as I do. And you guys do a lot of stuff with him. He's difficult to actually as eccentric as he is, it's harder to get him out of his shell, believe it or not. He almost has a dual thing, like a Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner versus the Hulk kind of thing, where it's like, well, he's the most eccentric guy I know, but sometimes he's actually shy and tough to get, info out. Or the info you do get out, you need an interpreter because I don't know what he's saying. But I like Kai. I mean, everybody thinks for some odd reason I don't like Kai, and we actually get along great. We have a lot in common. We love comics, and I grew up with being an avid comic collector, the superhero thing, all that stuff. So. I like talking to Kai. I mean, he's a different guy, and that's cool. I mean, he's pretty boring if we were all the same, but he brought it, man, and I loved it, and the fans loved it because that's what they wanted. They wanted real. They wanted 100%, and that's what they got.